thing. Okay, well, we just got done talking through a really good question about prayer, and so we're going to try and answer it now in 5 minutes or less.
5 minutes or less.
Or less.
Last time we were right at 5 minutes.
Right at 5 minutes.
We're still taking it off the wall because that's part of
Our thing.
part of our gimmick, even though the wall looks very pitiful. Very pitiful. Okay, let's get to it. Here's the question. The Bible talks about the condition of the world in the end times as being wicked and evil. We both, I think, agreed with that part, that the Bible seems pretty clear that there will be wickedness and evil
in the end times.
Okay? So the Bible talks about that. Is it wrong to pray for things to get better when it seems that goes against what God says is going to happen? Is it wrong to pray for things to get better when it seems... Well, that was a pretty good toss. Like that goes against what God says is going to happen.
And I think that the general, if we wanted to kind of frame it with just kind of a general consensus, is that no, depending on the condition of the person's heart.
Yeah, we're kind of emphasizing that.
Right. And the best probably biblical example is, as we talked about, Jesus in the garden before he gets crucified, he prays pretty emphatically to God, hey, let this cup pass from me. But then the end of his prayer is, but not my will, but your will.
And that's the heart you're looking for, right? It's like that you want the will of God.
Yeah.
If you're praying like against wickedness just because you want to be comfortable or you're just scared, I'm not saying that shouldn't be your number one goal. Our number one goal should be praying for the will of God.
Yeah.
But I like that example because obviously Jesus' heart wasn't wrong in what he was praying, and that was part of his prayer. We some verses for you real quick that come to mind in Romans 8. Likewise, the Spirit helps us in our weakness, for we do not know what to pray for as we ought. But the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groanings too deep for words. And he who searches hearts knows what is the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints according to the will of God. So that should be a super big comfort for us to know that it tells us right there we don't really know what to pray.
Yeah.
And when you think about our minds compared to the mind of God and what we want compared to him, it makes sense. Like our brains are nothing compared to his. And so the Spirit is very likely like, this is what he meant to say.
Yeah.
He's saying this. Bless his little heart.
I know it sounds like gibberish.
Yeah, it's cute, but here's what he really means to say. And so it should be a comfort to know that the Spirit intercedes for us, I think.
Yeah, and just kind of to wrap it off, a couple of things to know if you are praying for the will of God or against the will of God. A couple ways that it makes it pretty clear, and Scripture makes it pretty clear of how we can align our prayers with the will of God is, number one, pray for things that the Bible commands us to pray for. Number two, follow the example of godly characters in Scripture, like Paul, Israel, etc. Number three, pray with the right motivation, not selfish motivation. 4, pray with a spirit of forgiveness towards others. 5, pray with thanksgiving. 6, pray with persistence. And 7, rely on the Spirit of God. In your prayers, like you were talking about.
Yeah.
And so...
Maybe one last point. We don't really know when the end times are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I think sometimes people worry too much about that, and they're too concerned. And so, it's okay. Make sure your heart's right, your motivation is right, and pray. And the Spirit's gonna intercede for you.
Yeah, and to that note, it doesn't matter whether we're in the end times or not. Our mission is not changed.
Yeah.
We're supposed to be sharing the love of Jesus and spreading the gospel. I mean, period.
Yeah.
Regardless of what time we're in. So
yeah. So that's our quick little summation of what we think about that. How'd we do?
Another 39 seconds on the clock. So
we said or less. So there you go.
Less. So
there you go. All right. Catch you next time.